Hi and welcome to another video update from the Fire Brigade Union, once again here at the Union's head office in Kingston, London. Now we're joined by the FBU Brigade Secretary from Merseyside, Ian Hibbert, to discuss what is an escalation of an ongoing dispute in that service. Now Ian, there has been action taking place in Merseyside previously due to an ongoing dispute, but I describe this as an escalation because we're now balloting control members for strike action, as well as balloting firefighter members for action short of strike. So let's deal with the control element first of all. I mean, strike action's a big step to take, so what are the issues getting faced by our members there and why is it necessary to strike?
Yeah, any form of industrial action is a big step to take, especially strike action. Now, we have two ballots in place, one for fire control and one for members outside of fire control, as you rightly say. The one for our members in fire control comes about due to an imposed reduction in nighttime staffing numbers. Those staffing numbers up until last year were protected by a collective agreement. Our employer has essentially walked away from that collective agreement. They were protected at 6, they have now reduced those staffing numbers of a nighttime down to 5, leaving us uncertain as to whether or not they will return at a later date to reduce those numbers yet again.
And just to be clear, I mean, this wasn't done through agreement, discussion or anything else. This was an imposition, reducing the number of fire control members available at night time, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. There was the most cursory of consultation taken place, and then this reduction in nighttime staffing was imposed upon our members last year.
Now it should be obvious, but just for some of the people watching, what do you think are some of the dangers of reducing nighttime crewing for control at night?
Yeah, a reduction in nighttime crewing, whether it's in the control room or on the fire ground, it should be obvious to everyone who is watching and listening. If we have less members in the control room, it will take them longer to answer calls, it will take them longer to provide that life-saving advice to members of the public, it will take them longer to be able to speak to our firefighters on the incident ground and give them the most up-to-date information. And it also puts the health, safety and well-being of our members in fire control at risk. Absolutely. Because they will just become overworked.
Absolutely. Okay, that's the control side of stuff. Clearly a very serious situation for members there. Let's talk about the firefighters. Now, we've previously been running action there, action short of strike. This is in effect a reballot because under legislation we have to reballot for 6 months. Now, this is about contractual issues once again affecting firefighters. Just tell people watching, what is the issues that are undertaken?
Yeah, as Tam says, we ran action short of strike in Merseyside, not undertaking pre-arranged overtime from the 1st of December last year to the 1st of May this year. And that was around 3 key issues for firefighters outside of the control room. It was a duty shift system that was brought in at point of entry and as such was not been subject to any negotiation with the Fire Brigades Union. That duty shift system breaches grey book rates of pay for overtime. So our members working those duty shift systems, when they turn out at the end of shift, sometimes with colleagues who are on historic, decent, negotiated contracts, they are earning flat rates whilst their brothers and sisters are earning time and a half. We also have the non-agreed expansion of the firefighter role at a local level. So we have contracts within Merseyside that contain a requirement for our members, should it be enacted, to undertake emergency medical response, MTA activities, flood response, and also there is a paragraph within there that states they will do anything deemed necessary by the Chief Fire Officer for the implementation of the IRMP. So emergency medical response, as we are aware, is being discussed nationally, and it's being discussed through the correct avenues. It's being discussed through the NJC, it's being discussed by the national employers and the Fire Brigades Union. Merseyside Fire and Rescue Service has indicated that they want to play a part in those discussions. They want emergency medical response to be implemented nationally. However, what they've also stated is that they are going to leave it in our members' contracts, so they reserve the right, should those national talks break down, to force our members to undertake that work which will essentially at that point be outside of the firefighter's role once again.
And again, Ian, I'm sorry, this is extraordinary to hear, and again, this is stuff that's been imposed. There's no proper discussion, certainly no agreement with the union in this. This is the brigade just simply imposing change from the top, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. This is simply a service who are saying if we can't get what we want from the Fire Brigades Union, if we can't get our way, we will just place it in contracts at point of entry on an offer and acceptance basis. Now, whilst the service may be legally entitled to do this, what we have said quite clearly to councillors, to politicians, to service managers, is that if you continue to lean on your ability to legally impose worse terms and conditions on our members, you will leave us no choice but to challenge you industrially.
Absolutely. Now, I'm going to bring in the AGS in a minute, but just to be clear, we're not having it Merseyside. The FBU is fighting back strong. There's a determination amongst members there, yeah?
No, absolutely. Members are fighting. We are not willing to stand by any longer as we see decent jobs destroyed.
Oh, good for you. Okay, and thanks so much. Can you bring in Assistant General Secretary Ben Selby now? Now, Ben, it is quite hard to hear this, what members in Merseyside are going through. I mean, how do you feel when you hear about contracts getting imposed, duty systems being imposed in this way by a service?
Well, it's a very serious matter to members in Merseyside, but then right across our union too, Tam. What we want to say very clearly to any local employer, any chief fire officer, any fire authority or government for that matter, is that imposing any conditions on our members will see the fire brigade union fight back.
Absolutely. Now, as part of your remits, one of your main remits is as what we call a joint secretary. So you're the FBU secretary within the National Joint Council. So you're used to negotiating with employers up and down the country, but you can't negotiate with an employer who's imposing, can you?
No, it's very difficult, Tam, but we have avenues through the National Joint Council, which we have tried to and we will continue to try to use to seek solutions to the dispute in Merseyside.
Okay, but just to be clear, Merseyside members are up there now, they're fighting, the National Union standing right behind them, yeah?
It is, the Executive Council has been clear, Conference has been clear, Head Office are being very clear that we stand in support and stand in solidarity with members in Merseyside, but we also have a very clear message to the Chief Fire Officer in Merseyside and the Fire Authority that if they wish to settle this dispute, we're ready and sat round the table waiting for their arrival.
Okay, but until then, the fight is on, yeah?
It is, yeah, full support to Merseyside members.
Thanks so much indeed, Ben. Well, for more updates on this clearly very important issue, you can go to our website, that's www.fbu.org.uk, or for more immediate updates, of course, you can follow us on Twitter, that's simply @FBU National. Of course, please send your support and solidarity to our members in Merseyside. Till next time, thanks for joining us, and Ben, thanks so much indeed.
Thank you, Tom.